Flight boss, bitch, for sure. You're now listening to the Mind of an Terry's Moon. I'm the Archangel Uriel, and I'm here to carry out God duties and motherfucker responsibilities. And right now, we're gonna talk about what is it. Hold on, first and foremost, hey, Soul Group, what's this right here? What's this sign? What's this symbol right here, Soul Group? That's a ram. Had to get a charger too. Just because of the ram. Just because of the ram. Now check this motherfucking shit out. All Aries should be receiving checks in the mail every goddamn month from all Dodge products. I repeat, every Aries should be receiving a goddamn check in the mail from all Dodge products, motherfucker. And there's another thing too. This for all my goddamn celebrities out there. No, scratch that. All my stars out there. Now, I know what I'm about to say may sound a little bit contradicting because I just bought a charger too. I bought it, but for the most part, as a star, I'm not vibrating in that frequency yet, but I'm coming. As Archangel Uriel, I'm coming, and I'm planting the seed right now. And this is what I mean by that. For all my stars out there that's already in this frequency, right? You need to start treating these motherfucking car companies, corporations, the same way you treat these clothing companies and things of that nature. And what do I mean by that? Stop wasting all your goddamn money and buying these motherfucking cars. A lot of y'all be broke and y'all trying to look the part, so y'all be broke by renting fucking cars every fucking day and shit, just to look like you got the credentials to be somewhere. But look, this is what you need to understand. You the fucking star. You the fucking star. And what do I mean by that, right? It need to be a circumstance in a situation where these motherfucking car corporations is calling a record label and saying shit like this. Hey, we want to know if we can rent one of your artists. Can we rent your artist for a week or a month, and we'll pay such and such, and your artist can kind of post our cars on their Instagram page, and they can drive our cars and things of that nature, and this, that. You see what the fuck I'm saying? Shit, you the star. These car companies need to be renting you to drive their shit, motherfucker. So, and I'm Archangel Uriel. So, motherfucker, that's why. Look, so all Dodge Charger. Look, when soon as I get to that fucking frequency, I need ends on this. I need in on that. I need in on Dodge. I need in. And if I can't get in on it, then this motherfucker ain't gonna be able to survive on this grid of consciousness in this world. It's gonna get destroyed. It ain't gonna be able to. We can't coincide. I either got in on this, or you motherfuckers gonna get evaporated and get washed off the grid of this world's consciousness, motherfucker. You gonna have to work with Uriel. You gonna have to work with me, motherfucker. Now, first and foremost, let's talk about these goddamn archons, because this is a good ass segue. Because I'm gonna let you know, goddamn it, right now, what the fuck the archons is. And I like to speak eloquently and shit like that. So a nigga like me, I'm erratic. So I gotta I wrote it in my notepad. So I made sure that the words is used that just need to be used, and a bunch of fucks and motherfuckers and shits in between it. You know what I'm saying? But I had to get the fucks and shits and motherfuckers out first. Let me get that out. All right, now let's get to what the fuck is the archives. Now, the archives is the motherfucker beings of light. Beings of light. That's why I don't even call light no more. Light no more. I call light flight. Fuck that shit. But for the most part, yeah, we talk about the archons. Archons are beings of light. Now, I know it's a bunch of information on the internet and shit that you may hear about archons, but motherfucker, we're gonna get a fresh perspective on them so you can know what clearly everybody else is trying to talk about. You see what I'm saying? That's where you get on my page. We talk about it from a 4th, 5th, and 6th dimensional level. So we're gonna talk about what everybody else is trying to talk about. You see what I'm saying? Now, this is what the archons are. They are beings of light. Now, we know light is forms of information, consciousness, light forms, light bodies. You know what I'm saying? And with those bodies, you can create your imagination. So as a spirit, you can go into a light body to emit your imagination, to emit your expression. And people can see your personality through the shape and form that you are in. Now, if you are in the shape and form of a light, then you are in one of the lightest forms and bodies. AKA, these type of bodies can survive in the 4th, 5th, and 6th dimension. You know what I'm saying? It takes more time to sustain itself and become solid when it comes into lower realms of realities. And this is where y'all get the concept of time, possessions, experience, rotation. But I'm getting to the fact of what created all that, and this is the archons. Archons are beings of light. So check this out, right? Archons, they help create imaginations that agree with their views. right? But they destroy dreams and imaginations that people have that don't agree with their views. So what do I mean by that, right? We have a certain system here that start to play out when you pay attention to something. You see what I'm saying? When you're not paying attention to something, there's a totally different system going on when you start to pay attention to something. So you could be aware of something there and not pay attention to it, right? But there's a whole separate system going on that happens the moment you start to pay attention to it. It's something in this world. There's another system going on that y'all don't be vibing with, or y'all vibe with it because y'all have no choice, because y'all made with certain frequencies that's from that, but that frequency is like a standalone energy that people need to start understanding. You know what I'm saying? You are a part of that energy, but people are not tapping in to the actual energy signature of itself to see the frequency play itself out alone. See, you have to start jumping into the energy signature of being outside looking in. And how you start that? You can start that. You have to train your subconscious mind. So start that even in your everyday life. You could be talking to somebody. Try to look at it from an aspect of an outside looking in. And how you start there is see things from another person's point of view. Or see like that energy signature plays out differently through every situation that you're in. But looking at things from the outside looking in, it's an energy signature on its own. You can do that in every type of situation you in. And every situation you in may be very different, but you will always participate in the energy signature of looking outside, looking in. So that's like a higher wisdom, 4th, 5th, and 6th dimensional body form you could take to utilize in the 3rd dimension to have a better aspect than people who are in the 3rd dimension. You see what I'm saying? I hope I'm not losing y'all or losing people in the 3rd dimension. So let me get back to the actual words. Now, for the most part, reason why they can destroy it. Now, look at everything you see, and everything you seeing is a form of creation. So what gets created, everything you see is created from a form of an imagination. You can have an imagination in your mind and you create it. And you might not understand how far limits I'm taking this boundary. So let me bring it back down to 3D. You can have an imagination of a business structure or a business goal, right? And then you start to create that business, right? So the person who created Burger King or whatever had an imagination first, and then boom, they created that imagination. So now you see the creations of that imagination. Your ass go low vibrational ass and eat those fucking grilled flame hamburgers every day at Burger King, right? So now your ass got a fucking you a fucking cow in every circumstance and situation in your life because you love burgers, and then you love the flame grilled ones. So you a cow when it comes to you being at work. You a cow when it comes to you being in relationships. You a cow, and then a lot of times you become lazy and you ain't even got no meaning or reasoning to be a fucking cow because you ain't even worth somebody catering to you like that, to be milking you for anything. So that'll put you in a low vibrational state. But I'm getting you back to the understanding on a 3rd dimensional level how you can have an imagination and then create it, and then other people can see that creation, and then the more people cater to that creation, the more it becomes solid. And then in the 3rd dimensional realm, the more that business flourish. But in the 4th, 5th, and 6th dimensional realm, it plays out as something becoming solid first. It ain't even solid first. Like Burger King wasn't even solid, or it wasn't even no shape or form. It had to be in alignment first in the 4th, 5th, and 6th dimension. You get what I'm saying? Y'all get what I'm saying now? You know what I'm saying? So when we talk about the archons, they're beings of light. So when you see a light substance, for an example, y'all see what y'all quote unquote think stars. I like to call them bodies of water, but that's rotating at such a high rate is giving off an energy signature. The energy signature will be the color spectrum, and the vortex, and the way it's rotating will be the vibration of it. So you're actually looking at a frequency vibration emitting its energy, and whatever realm that you are in, that's the way you're going to perceive that energy. So you're in the 3D realm, so y'all perceive energies as 3-dimensional round. So that's how you're going to perceive that energy. But it's truly just a frequency vibration wave. You know what I'm saying? Earth is a wave. I'm trying to get y'all on my level. You see what I'm saying? So check this out. When we talk about beings of light, if you want to take it to a 3rd dimensional level, scientists like to call it photons or particles or whatever like that. But everything is a shape or form. So when y'all see a shape and form that y'all make out of something, you need to know that is a group of things becoming one. So it takes a group of us to agree on that one type of shape or form, or whatever y'all want to call the sun or the other planets or stars, right? So when you get into the mechanisms of that, right, like I said, it takes a group of something to make one thing. Same way it takes a group of blood cells and organs to make you. It takes a group of photons to make one light whatever y'all want to call it in this realm of reality. So look at it like this. Each photon is a body with a spirit in it. And each photon is an archon. So when you look at archives, right, on the say you're going into someone's archives, like a scientist's archives or someone's a musical archives or something like that, you're going into all their dated information, right? So you're going into their DNA. So this is correlated to DNA. This is correlated to a lot of things. Archons, you see what I'm saying? Archons is your solar system's DNA wise. Your DNA ain't nothing but mini solar systems. Everything is stars, micro, macro. You see what I'm saying? So for the most part, when you get into circumstances and situations of archives, just the energy signature of it, it plays out into every situation. So that lets you know it's an energy signature of its own. So going into archives, of musical archives, you're going into the dated all informations of someone's talents. Or if it's a scientific archive, you're going into all the dated information of that specific scientific program or whatever information subject matter you was in. You see what I'm saying? So when we look at archons, this is just a play of words. This is basically your DNA, your stature, your state. But each piece is a being. Each blood cell is a being. Each organ is a being. You see what I'm saying? With a spirit in it, because that spirit have been through levels of life. Or for an example, for something to become an organ, it was a smaller organ before. So the spirit that took the bigger organ must have been a spirit that lived the level of life of the smaller organs in order to develop enough information to create the larger shape and form in the next level of life, right? So this is where you get experienced spirits and unexperienced spirits. So the smaller the life form, the lesser the experience. The larger the life form, the more experienced the spirit is. Now you had a lot of spirits that came here that knew how to take larger forms, but also knew how to take the lesser forms. And this is where you get the concept of archives or Elohims, or, you know what I'm saying, master incarnators, you know what I'm saying, such as myself, who know how to go into all realms of realities. Just to play out a specific role to make other people aware of how to reach the eggs. But for the most part, when we talk about this dimension right here in the archives, we're getting in a circumstance, a situation where each particle of the light waves that y'all getting from these stars are archons, right? So if each planet, each star is creating a realm of reality, we know each archon is participating in that because they are the beings that's living in that level of life. So archons are the blood cells of the 4th, 5th, and 6th dimension. So everybody in the 3rd dimension are offsprings, because you are a blood cell. So you are offsprings of those blood cells. So 3rd dimensional beings, human race and all y'all, animals, bugs, y'all are creations. So y'all are offsprings of the blood cells of the 4th, 5th, and 6th dimensional beings. So the 4th, 5th, and 6th dimensional beings have blood cells. Same way you a 3rd dimensional being, you have blood cells. So when you see a group of blood cells come together to create one organ or something like that, this is where y'all look at the solar system and things of that nature. But each cell, each photon, right, is a being also. This is what we call the archons, right? So here's where we get back to the system of talking about there's a system actually going on that's happening the moment you start to pay attention to something. So you have your own archon system, and the moment you start to pay attention to something, your archons get to work, right? But then they start to work with the overall archons that we are up under, the overall solar system we up under. So here's what's actually going on. When you have a dream and imagination that don't participate with the archons that we're up under, right? Here's what's happening. When your archons go out to go and work, and then it meet the overall archons, aka the archons we are in. Say your imagination is something that don't got nothing to do with nature. It don't got nothing to do, and say it may be selfish compared to the world that you are in. The archons will defeat your archons, and it will play out in your life as your imagination not working, your dream not working. You always experiencing a circumstance or situation or a person, place, or thing that play out as a road blockage. Now that road blockage was created. It was created by the archons as a defense system against yours, because whatever you was trying to create won't match the sustaining of this imagination that we are in right now, that they have created for you, being an offspring to walk amongst. So they look at your creation like it might destroy shit. And a lot of times, if you are a being, if you are a spirit that come from a different constellation, a different astral place, a different realm of reality, and then you come here and you like Archangel Uriel, or you like Seven Bomar, shout out to Seven Bomar, or you like a lot of people that's here on this earth, right? Then you're not going to be able, a lot of times it's going to be harder for your shit to resonate. It's going to be harder for your shit to resonate because just by nature, your spiritual nature is from another nature, another solar system. So your ideas in general here won't even resonate. So, you know what I'm saying? Your knowledge and science won't be applied in the way of this realm of reality. And this realm of reality is ran by a bunch of earthy stars. And earthy stars like stability, material, gain. So, you know what I'm saying? This type of knowledge may not even be supported by material gain. Like, people like us will have to indulge into these type of world, into y'all worldly natures, into the way these archons, the way they like to set up. Remind you, if we up under a bunch of fire, water stars, and misty stars, and earth stars that like to resonate with the earth-like energy. Remind you, we're in a space and location that's vibrating in the earth-like signature. Now, before it became a shape and form, earth is feminine. Earth is an energy signature. So things that can be made out of that is stability, practicality, nurturing, caring, nourishment. So it doesn't matter what stars then traveled here, whether they came from the east, west, southern space in the astral realm, whether they're fire stars like this sun now, watery stars like the moon, Venus, you know what I'm saying, misty stars, air-like stars like Mercury, you know what I'm saying, earthy stars like Saturn. It doesn't matter what kind of stars they is. Those stars, they state of beings, and the spirits that's in them at the moment, utilizing them, just the nature that they're in, they like resonating with earth signature, the earthy signature. Otherwise, they wouldn't be creating what they're creating in this space and location anyway. So this is they shit. You know what I'm saying? No matter they fire, they just doing it in their way, but they like resonating with this shit. So this they shit. So any type of spiritual beings coming here from somewhere else, we got to do some other kind of shit. We got to apply. So the better we know how to take our far out shit and apply it with the archives, we have to make agreements. You know what I'm saying? Or shit like that. Or else go to war. Same way how I was talking about at the beginning of this video. Sometimes I just jump into my nature. I'm talking about going to war with Dodge and the Dodge brothers and shit like that. But motherfucker, hey, sometimes I go out that way in the 4th, 5th, and 6th dimension, but in the 3rd dimension, they probably looking at me in the 4th, 5th, and 6th dimension like, niggas, you out your mind? Do you know what we already created in the 3rd dimension? We didn't stabilize. We didn't already sign contracts, and we already didn't agree to terms and conditions with the archons here to stabilize for your ass as Archangel Uriel to even make a video to say you bought a charger. So I understand power. I understand source. Like you know what I'm saying? I ain't naive. You know what I'm saying? But I'm trying to get me and my soul group on this level of battle. Like, because we in a war. You ain't safe outside, and I'm talking about outside the body in the 4th, 5th, and 6th dimension. It's a war going on outside. No one is safe. But how can you know what you fighting if you don't even know what battle you in? And that's this dialogue I'm talking about right now. I'm trying to get everybody to know where the fucking battle is at, where the battlefield is at. That's like everybody going to war, and the two countries that's going to war, everybody getting blowed up in the cities because they living day to day. They don't even know nothing about the politics of the war and why they going to war. They just know that everything is getting blowed up. And the people who in war is the ones who know why they're in war. So that's what I'm trying to get my soul group on. We need to know what we want. Y'all need to know what the fuck, where the battlefield is at, so we can know how to shield ourselves and to get to this motherfucking war. Because the war ain't easy. Every day is a battle. You know what I'm saying? And that's what these archives do. Now, like I said, if you are a person who participate with the archives, imagination, and dreams, then you are a person that, you know, they will create scenarios where you will be successful a lot faster. This is why you see the dumbest, stupidest people in the world become successful the most fastest. Dang, that ain't even a word, you know what I'm saying? So I like to blend all chakras, you know what I'm saying? I don't like to indulge fully into y'all logical interpretations of words, so I still got that energy, dumbass energy also, but y'all can listen to me and still know I ain't no dumbass motherfucker. You see what I'm saying? I'm not, it's a thin line between crazy and mental retarded. Now, y'all know I'm not mentally retarded or stupid, but y'all know I ain't got it all there as far as education-wise. So I blend those two together, I'm motherfucking powerful. Yeah, that's motherfucking power in this world. That's power. Cause I know about a contract. A person try to sign me and look and be like, oh, I hear the way he talk. Let me give him this kind of contract. Then get a whole nother fucking thing coming. I do a fucking 360 like I'm James Brown. Look at that goddamn contract, and next thing you know, motherfucker, you paying me just because you gave me a contract. Now how that work? How did that work? You paying me just to sign a contract? Motherfucker, you paying me just to be in my presence to give me a contract. How did that work? That's what I've been changed in this world. You see what I'm saying? For real. Now, like I said, we need to know where this fucking battle was at. So it's as people who align themselves with the Archons, these people who you will be around, that when you start to kick shit like me, they'll start to look at you like crazy. Like, oh, nah, I don't know what you talk about, man. I'd rather just go here and work 100 years and get this whip and start this business. Now, remind you, Archons fuck with that shit. So the Archons put these motherfuckers in good-ass positions of working hard. These motherfuckers make sure they living conditions is good. They create all kind of illusions to make the person feel like it was worth it. You know what I'm saying? But when the person on their deathbed and look back, they're going to be like, damn. The amount of years I put on to having this crystal gold deathbed, I ain't even get to enjoy it. So yeah, I'm laying on a crystal gold, sweet ass, dope ass motherfucking deathbed. But this shit doesn't even mean shit. You know what I'm saying? You get it? So these Archons, they play shit. They play, yeah, they didn't put so much light that you was paying attention to and manifested a gold-ass deathbed. You got a gold deathbed, 24, a fucking gold crystalline deathbed. You know what I'm saying? Now the world gonna remember that. They gonna be like, this motherfucker died on a gold deathbed. This motherfucker had all the pH aligned water going into his fucking veins, and with the fucking everything they was hooking up to that motherfucker on his deathbed. But he had the fucking, or she had the best salt water. Shit. You know what I'm saying? But did that mean anything? Because here's what's gonna happen. You got so remembered and you got so attached to what you was doing, the Archives then created some shit to when your spirit leave, you think your spirit look like whatever it looked like in the third dimension. Your spirit ain't look like shit. So then they didn't put some ideas on your mind that your spirit looked like something. So now your ass come right back here to continue creating their imagination. Because you know what? The Archons look at you like, man, this was a hard motherfucking spirit using these shapes and forms and these light bodies. Let's make sure this motherfucker come back to make sure they keep creating this realm to make sure that this is the hardest realm possible. And you come here thinking you the biggest star ever, third dimensional wise. Why these Archons continue to be stars, 4th, 5th, and 6th dimensional wise. They probably gonna get mad that I'm even making this video right now. Cause look, a lot of the science that y'all hear other people teach about the Archons on the internet is really science that the Archons have recreated themselves to give to people that who just got sparked in a new age and just got a new conscious awareness. So they then gave them this science to teach to continue shit also. So you think you learn about the Archives, well, really, no, you still building on their imagination. You still don't know where the war at. It's like deep. This shit is crazy. I fucks with y'all though. That's why I'm here. I fucks with y'all. Flight bus, bitch. Goddamn air.